Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतं स्वाकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनारित्यन्दस्तो भद्राणि विदुनति सुहृत्सतां नस्तप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the person of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the person of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the person of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Standar Pram, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Guru Nandana.
Would anyone like to start? Text number 6. Parijananuraga virachita shabala samsabda shalila shita kishalaya tulashika durvana kurair api sambridaya saparyaya kila parama paritushyasi. Parijana, by your servants, Anuraga, in great ecstasy, Virachita, executed, Shabala, with a faltering voice, Samshabda, with prayers, Shalila, water, Shita Kisalaya, twigs bearing new leaves, Tulashika, Tulasi leaves, Durvankurai, and with newly grown grass, api also. Sambritaya performed. Saparya, Saparyaya by worship. Kila indeed. Parama, O Supreme Lord. Paritushyasi, you become satisfied. Translation. O Supreme Lord, you are full in every respect. You are certainly very satisfied when your devotees offer you prayers with faltering voices, and in ecstasy bring your tulasi leaves, watered twigs bearing new leaves, and newly grown grass. This surely makes you satisfied. Purport. One does not need great wealth, education, or opulence to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one is fully absorbed in love and ecstasy, he need offer only a flower and little water. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Bhagavad Gita 9:26. The Supreme Lord can be pleased only by devotional service. Therefore it is said here that the Lord is surely satisfied by devotion and nothing else. Quoting from the Gautamiya Tantra, the Hari Bhakti Vilasa states, Tulasya dala matrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinite svamatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate toward his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulasi leaf and a palmful of water. The Supreme Lord is causelessly merciful upon his devotees, so much so that even the poorest man can offer him a little water and a flower in devotion, and thus please him. This is due to his affectionate dealings with his devotees. Text number 7. Athanayaphi na bhavata ijjayorubarabaraya samuchitamartam iho palabhamahe. Atha otherwise, anaya this, api even, not, bhavata of your exalted personality, ijjaya by performance of sacrifice, uru barabaraya encumbered by much paraphernalia. Samuchitam required, artham use, iha here, upalabhamahe we can see. Translation. We have engaged in your worship with many things and have offered sacrifices unto you, but we think that there is no need for so many arrangements to please your lordship. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami says that if one is offered varied foods but has no appetite, the offering has no value. In a big sacrificial ceremony, there may be many things accumulated to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but if there is no devotion, attachment, or love for the Lord, the arrangement is useless. The Lord is complete in Himself, and He does not need anything from us. However, if we offer Him a little water, a flower, and tulasi leaf, He will accept them. Bhakti, devotional service, is the main way to satisfy the Supreme Person of Godhead. It is not question of arranging huge sacrifices. The priests were regretful, thinking that they were not on the path of devotional service and that their sacrifice was not pleasing to the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Guruvan.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Can I
To
read
continue? Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Haribol.
the text state? Atmana evanam shavanam anjasavyadirekena bho yamanashesha purushartha swarupasya किन्तु नताशिष अशासनम् एतत् विसमृद्धान् मात्रं भवितुम् अर्हति. Synonyms: Atmana, self-sufficiently; Eva, certainly; Savanam, at every moment; Anjasa, directly; Avyatirekena, without stopping; Bobu Yamana, increasing; Ashesha, unlimitedly; Purusha Artha, the goals of life; Swarupasya, your actual identity; Kintu, but; Natha, O Lord; Ashisha, benedictions for material enjoyment; Asha Shananam, of us who are always desiring; Etat, this; Abhisambhridhana, forgetting your mercy; Matram, only; Bhavitum Arhati, can be. Translation covered by Sri Sivutana Social Prabhat Ki Jai. Translation: all of life's goals and opulences are directly, self-sufficiently, unceasingly, and unlimitedly increasing in you at every moment. Indeed, you are the unlimited enjoyment and blissful existence itself. As far as we are concerned, O Lord, we are always after material enjoyment. You do not need all these sacrificial arrangements, but they are meant for us so that we may be benedicted by your Lordship. All these sacrifices are performed for our fruitive results, and they are not actually needed by you. Purport: being self-sufficient, the Supreme Lord does not need huge sacrifices. Fruitive activity for a more opulent life is for those who desire such material opulence for their interests. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणो यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः. If we do not act to satisfy the Supreme Lord, we engage in Maya's activities. We may construct a gorgeous temple and spend thousands of dollars, but such a temple is not required by the Lord. The Lord has many millions of temples for his residence, and he does not need our attempt. He does not require opulent activity at all. Such engagement is meant for our benefit. If we engage our money in constructing a gorgeous temple, we are freed from the reactions of our endeavors. This is for our benefit. In addition, if we attempt to do something nice for the Supreme Lord, He is pleased with us and gives us His benediction. In conclusion, the gorgeous arrangements are not for the Lord's sake, but for our own. If we somehow or other receive blessings and benedictions from the Lord, our consciousness can be purified, and we can become eligible to return home back to Godhead. Text 9. तद्यथा बालिशनं स्वयम् आत्मनः श्रेय परम् अविदुषं परमा पर पराम परामपुरुष प्रकर्ष करुणया स्वमहिमानं चापवर्गाख्यम् उपकल्पयिष्यान् स्वयं नापचित्त एवेतरावत् इहोपलक्षिता. Synonyms: that, yatha, as; balishanam, of the fools; swayam, by yourself; atmana, own; shreya, welfare; param, ultimate; avidusham, of persons who do not know; parama purusha, O Lord of Lords; prakarsha karunaya, by abundant causeless mercy; swamahimanam, your personal glory; cha, and apavarga akhyam, called apavarga, liberation; upakalpaishyam, desiring to give; swayam, personally; na, apachitta, not properly worshipped; eva, although; itaravat, like an ordinary person; iha, here; upalakshita, you are present and seen by us. Translation: O Lord of Lords, we are completely ignorant of the execution of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. the process of liberation, because we do not actually know the goal of life. You have appeared personally before us, like a person soliciting worship, but you actually are present here just so that we can see you. You have come out of your abundant and causeless mercy in order to serve our purpose, you can scroll down, our interests, and give us the benefit of your personal glory, called Apavarga liberation. You have come, although you are not properly worshipped by us due to our ignorance. Purport, Lord, you can take up, Prabhu. I also didn't understand. But the Lord has come just to give us liberation, right? Because we're always acting in dharma, artha, kama, and moksha.
Yes, Prabhu. This is the priest they are praying.
What, Prabhu?
This is the priest they are praying.
Yes, Prabhu. And what is the meaning of soliciting? A person soliciting worship. What does it mean? The action or fact of accosting someone and someone offering one or someone else services as prostitute, elitist, I think. Yes, Prabhu. Purport. Lord Vishnu was personally present at the sacrificial arena, but this does not mean that he had any interest in his own personal benefit. Similarly, the Apsaragra deity in the temple is present for the same purpose. Out of his causeless mercy, the Supreme Interactive God presents himself before us so that we can see him. Since we have no transcendental vision, we cannot see the spiritual Satchidananda Vigraha of the Lord. Therefore, out of his causeless mercy, he comes in a form we can see. We can only see material things like stone and wood, and therefore he accepts a form of stone and wood, and thus accepts our service in the temple. This is an exhibition of the Lord's causeless mercy. Although he has no interest in such things, in order to receive our loving service, he agrees to act as he does. We cannot actually offer suitable paraphernalia for the Lord's worship, because they are completely ignorant. It was out of his causeless mercy that the Lord appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Nadi.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhu's blessings and
Prabhu,
many
Dhandas,
praises and
Jai
blessings
Shri
for Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Bhakti
Can I read, Prabhu?
Pratandam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhu, let me
Can I
read it
read,
two
Prabhu?
to three. Prabhu, I
Sorry,
may
Prabhu?
read little, like 2 or 3 verses.
Okay, yes, Prabhu, no problem. Semi Prabhu, don't kill me, Prabhu. I know I said you must start the reading session and then I don't come. I was on a phone call with Gaura Shakti Prabhu.
No problem, Prabhu. Haribol.
Haribo.
Thank you for joining now.
Haribo.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Text 10. अथायम् एव वरो अर्हत्तम यर्हि बर्हिषि राजर्षि वरादर्शभो भवन् निज पुरुषेक्षण विषय असित. Synonyms. Atha, then, ayam, this, eva, certainly, vara, benediction, he, indeed, arhattama, O most worshipable of the worshipable, Yarhi, because Barishishi, in the sacrifice, Rajarshe of King Nabi, Varada Rishabha, the best of the benefactors, Bhavan, your lordship, Nijapurusha, of your devotees, Ikshana Vishaya, the object of the sight, Asti has become. Translation: O most worshipable of all, You are the best of all benefactors, and your appearance at saintly King Nabi's sacrificial arena is meant for our benediction. Because you have been seen by us, you have bestowed upon us the most valuable benediction. Purport Nija Purusha Ikshana Vishaya. In Bhagavad Gita 9.29, Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend in me, and I am also a friend to him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal to everyone. In that sense, he has no enemies and no friends. Everyone is enjoying the fruitive reactions of his own work, and the Lord within everyone's heart is observing and giving everyone the desired results. However, just as the devotees are always anxious to see the Supreme Lord satisfied in every way, similarly the Supreme Lord is very anxious to present himself before his devotees. Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya ch dushritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. Thus Krishna's appearance is for the deliverance and satisfaction of his devotees. Actually, he does not advent himself simply to kill the demons, for that can be done by his agents. Lord Vishnu's appearance at the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Nabi was just to please the king and his assistants. Otherwise, there was no reason for his being present there. Text 11. Asang Sanganishita Jnana Nara Vidhutashesha Maranam Bhavat Bhavanam Atmaramanam Muninam Anavarta Parigunita Gunagana Parama Mangalayana Gunagana Kathanusi. Synonyms: Asanga by detachment, Nishita strengthened, Jnana of knowledge, Anala by the fire, Vidhuta removed, Ashesha unlimited, Malanam whose dirty things, Bhavat Subhavanam who have attained your qualities, Atma Aranam Arimanam who are self-satisfied, Munina, O great sages, Anavar Prabhu. Anavarta incessantly, Parigunita recounted, Gunagana, O Lord, whose spiritual activities Paramamangala, supreme bliss, Ayana produces Gunagana Kathana, he the chanting of whose attributes Asi you are. Translation. Dear Lord, all the great sages who are thoughtful and saintly persons incessantly recount your spiritual qualities. These sages have already burned up all the unlimited dirty things, and by fire of knowledge strengthened their detachment from the material world. Thus they have attained your qualities and are self-satisfied. Yet, even for those who feel spiritual bliss in chanting, your attributes, your personal presence is very rare. Purport: the priests in Maharaj Nabi's sacrificial arena appreciated the personal presence of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and they considered themselves very much obliged. The Lord's appearance is rare even for great saintly persons who have become completely detached from this material world and whose hearts are clean due to constantly chanting the glories of the Lord. Such people are satisfied by chanting the transcendental, you can scroll below, transcendental qualities of the Lord. The Lord's personal presence is not actually required. The priests are pointing out that the Lord's presence is very rare, even for such elevated sages, but that he was so kind to them that now he was personally present. Therefore, the priests were very much obliged. Thank you, Prabhu. Devang Prabhu, you can continue.
Okay, Prabhu. Haribo.
Ribble,
Very
thank you
good.
so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna and Shubham Prabhupada Nam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Shubham Prabhu, Tanda Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare
Ribble.
Krishna, Subham Prabhu. Please accept number obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the note from to their seat.
Should I start? Ne?
Yes, Prabhu.
Ata kantachit skalana kshut patana jirmabana duravastana dishu vivashanam smaranaya Jwara marana dashayam api sakala kshamala kashmala nirmasa nani tava guna kritam namadye yani vachana gocharani bhavantu. Synonyms atha still katanchit somehow or others lana stumbling kshut hunger patana falling down jirma bana yawning Duravastana, because of being placed in an undesirable position, Adishu, and so on. Vivashanam, unable na of ourselves. Smaranaya, to remember Jwara, Marana, Dashayam, in the case of having a higher fever at the time of death. Api also, Sakala, all. Kashmala, since Nirasanani, which can dispel Dava, Yo, Guna, et tributes, krita, activities, nama, yani, names, vachana, go, charani, possible to be uttered, bhavantu, let them become. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Dear Lord, we may not be able to remember your name, form, and qualities due to stumbling, hunger, falling down, yawning, or being in a miserable diseased condition. At the time of death, when there is a high fever, we therefore pray unto you, O Lord, for you are very affectionate to your devotees. Please help us remember you and utter your holy names, attributes, and activities which can dispel all the reactions of our sinful lives. I need to send this to Gaura Shakti Prabhu. He was discussing about this actually earlier on. Purport, the real success in life is Ante Narayana Smriti, remembering the holy name, attributes, activities, and form of the Lord. At the time of death, although we may be engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the temple, material conditions are so tough and inevitable that we may forget the Lord at the time of death due to a diseased condition or mental. Can go down, Prabhu. The arrangement, the arrangement, therefore we should pray to the Lord to be able to remember his lotus feet without fail at the time of death, when we are in such a precocious condition. In this regard, one may also see Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6.2.9, 10 to 10 and 14 to 15. Text 13. Kinchayam Rajarshi Apadya Kamaha Prajam Bhavadrashim Ashasana Ishwaram Ashisham Swargapavargayo Api Bhavantam Upadavati Prajayam Artha pratyayo danadam ivadana ha ivadahana apalikaranam Synonyms: Gincha, moreover. I am this Raja Rishi, pious king, Nabi, Apadya, Kamaha, desiring offsprings, Prajam, a son, Bavad Rishim, exactly like you, Ashashana, hoping for, Ishwaram, the supreme controller, Ashisham, of benediction, Swarga, Apavargayoho, Apavargayo, of the heavenly planets and liberation, Api, although Bhavantam, you Upadavati, worships Prajayam, children Arata Pratyayaha, regarding as the ultimate goal of life, Tanadam, and to a person who can give immense wealth and as charity, Eva like Adana, a poor man, Balikaranam, a little husk. Translation. Dear Lord, here is the great King Nabi, whose ultimate goal in life is to have a son like you. Your worship, his position is like that of a person approaching a very rich man and begging for a little grain. Maharaj Nabi is so desirous of having a son that he is worshipping you for a son. Although you can offer him an exalted position, including elevation to the heavenly planets or liberation back to Godhead. Purport: the priests were a little ashamed that King Nabi was performing a great sacrifice just to ask the Lord's benediction for a son. The Lord could offer him promotion to the heavenly planets or the Vaikuntha planets. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us how to approach the Supreme Lord and ask Him for the ultimate benediction. He said, Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim, Gavitam, Vajagadisha Gamaye. He did not want to ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. Material opulences means riches, a nice family, a good wife, and many followers. But an intelligent devotee does not ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. His only prayer is Mama Janmani Shvare Bhavata Bhakti Ahetuki Twai. He wants to be engaged perpetually in the loving service of the Lord. He does not want promotion to the heavenly planets or mukti, liberation from material bondage. If this were the case, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have said, Mama Janmani. It does not matter to a devotee whether or not he takes birth life after life, as long as he remains a devotee. Actually, eternal liberty means returning home back to Godhead. A devotee is never concerned about anything material, although Nabi Maharaj wanted a son like Vishnu. Wanting a son like God is also a form of sense gratification. A pure devotee wants only to engage in the Lord's loving service. Can I take a screenshot, Prabhu? I was about to take a screenshot to the last part on top. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you, Prabhu. Kova ihate parajito parajitaya maya yana vasita padavyana vrata matir vishaya visharaya navrata prakriti pasita mahakchara naha. Synonyms: kava, who is that person? Iha, within this material world, there of your lordship. Aparajita, not conquered. Aparajitaya, by the unconquerable. Mayaya, illusory energy. Anavasita, padavya, whose path cannot be ascertained. Anavrita mati, whose intelligence is not bewildered. Vishaya visha, of material enjoyment, which is like poison. Raya, by the cause. Anavrita, not covered. Prakriti, whose nature anupasita, without worshipping. Mahat Charanaha, the lotus feet of great devotees. Translation: dear Lord, unless one worships the lotus feet of the great devotees, one will be conquered by the illusory energy and his intelligence will be bewildered. Indeed, 4.34. Indeed, who has not been carried away by the waves of material enjoyment, which are like poison? Your illusory energy is unconquerable. No one can see the path of this material energy or tell how it is working. Purport: Maharaj Nabi was inclined to performing great sacrifices for begetting a son. The son might be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but such a material desire, be it great or insignificant, is brought about by the influence of Maya. A devotee does not at all desire anything for sense gratification. King Puranja. Devotion is therefore explained as devoid of material desires. Anya bila sita shunya. Everyone is subjected to sense gratification. Subjected to the influence of Maya and entangled in all kinds of material desires, and Maharaj Nabi was no exemption. Freedom from Maya's influence is possible when one engages in the service of the great devotee Mahak Charana Seva. Without worshipping the lotus feet of a great devotee, one cannot be freed from Maya's influence. Srila Narottam Das Tagore therefore says, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paye Che Giba. Who has been freed from Maya's clutches without serving the lotus feet of a Vaishnava? Maya is aparajita, and her influence is also aparajita, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Daivya He Esha Guna Mai Mama Maya Duratyaya. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. Only a devotee can surpass Maya's great influence. It was no fault on Maharaj Nabi's part that he wanted a son. He wanted a son like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the best of all sons. By the association of the Lord's devotee, one no longer desires material opulence. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.54. Sadhu Sangha Sarava Shastre Kaya Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarava Siddhi Haya Mahat Kripa Vina Kona Karame Bhakti Naya Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nahe Kshaya. If one is serious about escaping Maya's influence and returning home back to Godhead, one must associate with the sadhu devotee. That is the verdict of all scriptures. By the slight association of a devotee, one can be freed from the clutches of Maya. Without the mercy of the pure devotee, one cannot get freed. One cannot get freedom by any means. Certainly, a pure devotee's association is necessary in order to obtain the loving service of the Lord. One cannot be freed from Maya's clutches without sadhu sangha. The benediction of a great devotee in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7.5.32, Prahlad Maharaj says, Na isham matis tavad urukram mangrim, urukramangrim sparshati anarta pagamo yat arthaha mahi yasam padarajo bishikam na nishkim nishkinchana nam na vrinita yavat. One cannot become the Lord's pure devotee without taking the dust of a great devotee on his head. Padarajo bishikam. A pure devotee is nishkinchana. He has no material desires to enjoy the material world. One has to take shelter of such a pure devotee in order to attain his qualities. The pure devotee is always free from the clutches of Maya and her influence. Yad uha vava tava puna abdabra karatar iha sama hutas tatrata diyam mandanam nastad yat deva helanam deva rasi se samyena sarvan paratvadum prativodum avidusham. Synonyms: yet, because, uha vava, indeed, tava, your, punya, again, adabra karata, O Lord, who performs many activities, adabra, it looks like abracadabra. Lord, oh Lord, who performs many activities. Iha here in this arena of sacrifice. Samahu Taha. Invited Tatra, therefore, Arata the Yam, who aspires to fulfill material desires, Mandanam, not very intelligent, na of us, that yet which Deva Hilanam, disrespect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Deva Deva, Lord of Lords, Arhasi, please, Samyena, because of your equipoised position, Saravan, everything, Pra, Divodum tolerate avidusham of us who are all ignorant. Translation, oh Lord, you perform many wonderful activities. Our only aim was to acquire a son by performing this great sacrifice. Therefore, our intelligence is not very sharp. We are not experienced in ascertaining life's goal. By inviting you to this negligible sacrifice for some material motive, we have certainly committed a great offense at your lotus feet. Therefore, O Lord of Lords, please excuse our offense because of your causeless mercy and equal mind. Purport. The priests were certainly unhappy to have called the Supreme Lord from Vaikuntha for such an insignificant reason. A pure devotee never wants to see the Lord unnecessarily. The Lord is engaged in various activities, and the pure devotee does not want to see him whimsically for his own sense gratification. The pure devotee simply depends on the Lord's mercy, and when the Lord is pleased, he can see him face to face. The Lord is unseen even by demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. By calling on the Supreme Lord, the priests of Nabi Maharaj proved themselves unintelligent. Nonetheless, the Lord came out of his causeless mercy. All of them therefore wanted to be excused by the Lord. Worship of the Supreme Lord for material gain is not approved by authorities as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvida bhajante mam janaha sukrintino Arjun. Arato jigasur aratarti Gyani cha Bharatarashab. Bharatarashab. Is it the first son of Rashab Dev, the firstborn? Oh, best among the Bharatas, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. Okay, let me count them. I always forget these 4. I don't know why. Oh, there's one who's okay. I thought there were 2 who were searching knowledge. Are they 3 or 4, Prabhu? Distressed, knowledge, and wealth. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is. What's the difference between someone who is inquisitive and who is searching for knowledge of the absolute? Isn't someone who is inquisitive want to know what's happening in life? Like maybe why do we have stars? Why earth? Why wake up, sleep? Isn't that being inquisitive?
Yes, Prabhu.
So like how is it different from knowledge of the absolute? Because I don't think you'd seek knowledge of the absolute without knowing first, right?
He just wants to know things without any goal.
Or without any goal. So the one who is inquisitive, he wants to know things, but then he wants some material benefits out of it or some benefit out of it.
No, not even that. He just wants to know things. The other one wants to know just the absolute truth.
The other one wants to know the absolute truth, like the controller, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Who's controlling the world and everything. So the inquisitive is inquisitive about what? Like life
Whatever.
or whatever in general.
Even if he sees cars passing by, he's inquisitive what the color of the car is or something. Anything.
Oh, so meaning, the motives is like maybe his inquisitive is in the mode of ignorance and passion, and then the one who wants to know about the absolute is in goodness, right?
Yes, Prabhu. This inquisitive wants more knowledge about everything.
Oh, yes, Prabhu, I understand.
But
Because,
the
yeah,
one
I
who
know
wants...
some,
Yes,
actually
Prabhu.
in South Africa, Prabhu, they are like this, I've seen that these high people, like who know spiritual, who've been studying spirituality for like maybe 5, 6, 7 years now, they know of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Hanuman, but then it's like the way they know of him, it's different than us, They know him as the person who existed, who came, who was best in war and everything,
Yes,
They
Prabhu.
even thought he fought, you know. He was the best. He thought he fought, They don't even know that it was actually Arjun. They don't know anything of Arjun, but they know of the war,
Yes, Prabhu.
you know. Yes. So now I get it. Okay, initiation into bhakti begins when one is in a distressed condition or in want of money, or when one is inquisitive to understand the absolute truth. Nonetheless, people who approach the Supreme Lord in this way are not actually devotees. They are accepted as pious Sukritinam due to their inquiring about the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not knowing the various activities and engagements of the Lord. Such people unnecessarily disturb the Lord for material gain. However, the Lord is so kind that even though disturbed, he fulfills the desires of such beggars. The pure devotee is Anya Bila Shita Sunya. He has no motive behind his worship. He is not conducted by the influence of Maya in the form of karma or jnana. The pure devotee is always prepared to execute the order of the Lord without personal consideration. The Ritvija, true, Ritvija, the priest, the sacrifice knew very well the distinctions between karma and bhakti, and because they considered themselves under the influence of karma, fruitive activity, they begged the Lord's pardon. They knew that the Lord had been invited to come for some paltry reason. Shri Sukha Uvacha iti nigade na bishitu naya mano bhagavan animish rasha varsha. Dara bivadita bivana vandita. Such long words. Chara naha sadyam idam aha. Synonyms: Shri Sukha Uvacha. Shri Sukadev Goswami said, iti thus nigadena, by prayers in prose. Abhishtu shu. Abhishtu Yamanaha, being worshipped, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Animisha. Vrashaba, the chief of all the demigods, Vrashadara, by King Nabi, the emperor of Bharat, Varsha, Bharat Varsha, Abhi, Abhivadita, worshipped, Abhivandita, were bowed down to Charanaha, whose were bowed down to Charanaha, whose feet, Sadayam, kindly, Idam, this, Aha, said. Translation: Sri Sukadev Goswami said the priests who were even worshipped by King Nabi, the emperor of Bharatvarsha, offered prayers in prose. Generally, they were in poetry and bowed down at the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord of Lords, the ruler of the demigods, was very pleased with them, and he began to speak as follows. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aho Bataham Rashayo Bhavadbi Avitata Girbi Varavaram Asulabam Abhi Yad Chito Yad Amushyat Majo Maya Sad Risho Bujat Iti Mamaham Eva Birish Eva Birupaha Kaivalyad Tapi Brahmavadona Mrisha Bhavitum Arhati Mamai Vahi Mukam Yad Divija Divakulam. Synonym: Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Aho, alas, Bata, certainly I am pleased. Aham, I, Rishayaha, O great sage Bhavadbi, by you, Avidat Ha Girabi, whose words are all true, Varam, for a benediction, Asulabam, very difficult to achieve, Abi Yat Chitaha, been requested yet that Amusha of King Nabi Atma Jaha, a son Maya Sadarishaha, like me, Boo Yat. They may be ititas mama my aham I ever only abi rupaha equal gaivalyat because of being without a second atapi none nevertheless. Brahma Vadaha, the word spoken by exalted Brahmanas, na not Mrisha, falls Bhavitum to become Arhati Auta Mama Mai Eva, certainly he, because Mukam mouth, Yad that Vija Deva Kulam, the class of pure Brahmanas. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, O great sages, I am certainly very pleased with your prayers. You are all truthful. You have prayed for the benediction of a son like me for King Nabi, but this is very difficult to obtain since I am the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Person, without a second, and since no one is equal to me, another personality like me is not possible to find. In any case, because you are all qualified Brahmanas, your vibrations should not prove untrue. I consider the Brahmanas who are well qualified with Brahminical qualities to be as good as my own mouth. Purport: the word avitat ha girabi means they whose spoken vibrations cannot be nullified. The Brahmanas Divija, the twice born, are given a chance by the Shastric regulations to become almost as powerful as the Supreme Lord. Whatever a Brahmana speaks cannot be nullified or changed in any circumstance. According to the Vedic injunctions, a Brahmana is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, that's why when they curse Prabhu, you die, ne? Therefore, in all rituals, a Brahmana is offered food, Brahmana Bhojana. Because when, oh, you passed, Prabhu, one line up. Because when a Brahmana eats, it is considered that the Supreme Lord himself eats. Similarly, whatever a Brahmana speaks cannot be changed, it must act. The learned sage who were priests at Maharaj Nabi's sacrifice were not only Brahmanas but were so qualified that they were like devas, demigods, or God Himself. If this were not the case, how could they invite Lord Vishnu to come to the sacrificial arena? God is one, and God does not belong to this or that religion. In Kali Yuga, different religions, sects consider their God to be different from the God of others, but that is not possible. Oh, fellow Christians, God is one, and He is appreciated according to different angles of visions. In this verse, the words Kaivalyat means that God has no competitor. There is only one God. In the Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.8, it is said, Na tvat samaschabhya dikascha drishyate. No one is found to be equal to him or greater than him. That is the definition of God. Nitya nityanam, chetanas chetananam.
Okay, last verse. Is it long? No, it's
Even if
short.
it's long, or maybe two, Prabhu.
Yes, bro.
Or maybe one, yeah, it's fine. Anyhow. Tata Angir Tata Agni Darye. So Agni Darye. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Agni Dirye. Mrisha Kala Yavantari Shyami. Atma Tulyam. Anupala Pamanaha. Prabhu, please pronounce that word, the second word, Agni Dirye. Agni Dirye. Agni Dirye. Dirye. Do you
Agnidriye.
see? Agni Driye. Okay, the Driye. Synonyms: Tata, therefore, Agnidriye, in the wife of Nabi, the son of Agnidra. Amsha Kala, Kalaya, by an extension of my personal form, Avatarishyami, I shall advent myself at Matulyam, my equal Anupalabhamanaha, not finding. Translation: since I cannot find anyone equal to me, I shall personally expand myself into a plenary portion and thus advent myself in the womb. of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabi, the son of Agnidra. Purport: this is an example of the omnipotency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is one without a second, he expands himself by Swamsha, his personal expansion, and sometimes by Vibhinamsha, or his separated expansion. Lord Vishnu herein agrees to send his personal expansion as the son of Meru Devi, the wife of Maharaj Nabi, who is the son of Agnidra. The Ritvija, the priest, knew that God is one, yet they prayed for the Supreme Lord to become the son of Maharaj Nabi, to let the world know that the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is one without a second. When he incarnates, he expands himself in different potencies.
Okay, last one.
Yes, bro. They seem short. Shri Sukha Uvacha iti nishyama yantra iti nisyamayantya Meru Devayaha Patim Abhidayantardaya Bhagavan. Abhidayantardaya Bhagavan. Shri Sukha Uvacha, Shri Sukadev Goswami said, iti thus nishamayan tayaha, who was listening, Meru Devayaha, in the presence of Meru Devi, Patim, unto her husband, Abhidaya, having spoken, Antardadye, disappeared, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation: Sukadev Goswami continued, after saying this, the Lord disappeared. The wife of King Nabi, King Meru Devi, was sitting by the side of her husband, and consequently she could hear everything the Supreme Lord had spoken. Purport: according to the Vedic injunctions, one should perform sacrifices in the company of one's own wife. Sapatniko Dharamam Achare. Religious rituals should be performed with one's wife. Therefore, Maharaj Nabi conducted his great sacrifice with his wife by his side. Haribol, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Haribol.
Should I already start with the Shikshastaka?
Yes, bro.
Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreya daiva chandika vitaranam vidya varu jivanam anandam burdi vardhanam pratiparam purnamrita swaranam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana nam Bauda Nitya Sarva Shakti Statrarpita Nyanita Smaranena Kalaha Etatrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mama Pi Durudaiva Metrishamya Jinan Rakraha Trinarapi Sunichana Taravapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadina Kirtanya Sada Hari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Gavitamba Jagadishaka Maye Mama Janmanishware Bhavata Bhaktya Hetuki Twai Ainandatanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Bodo Kripaya Tvavapada Pankaja Stitadoli Satrisham Vichintaya Nayanam Galada Surudaraya Padanam Gadgadarudaya Gira Pulakairana Chittam Bapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugaitam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravishaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Asis Leva Paratam Vinastuma Madarshanam Marmamatam Garutupa Yata Tata Vidatulan Patumat Prananatastu Saeva Narpana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Almost forgot myself there. Okay, glories to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, breath after breath. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal savior, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am feeling Hey, oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so. Even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. शिक्षास्तका की जय लोक चैतन्य महाप्रभु की
Jai,
जय नित्यानंद
Jai,
प्रभु की जय पंचतत्व की
Jai,
शिला प्रभुपाद की
Jai,
जय
Jai.
आहु
Jai.
जन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तबुताना पय Krishna pade premadana. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second offense, to consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master, thinking him as an ordinary person. Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in preference to the Vedic version. Fifth offense, to give some interpretation. Imagination. Prabhu, can you go down? I forgot what about imagination. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination, to give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the special ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Ninth offense, to instruct the faithless persons about the glories of the holy name. Tenth offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses. In order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema, I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya
Kripasindhubhya
cha
cha
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavyo Namo
namaha.
Namaha.
Ananta Koitava Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai,
Jai.
Jai,
Nityanacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai,
Jai.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityananda
Jai.
Jai.
Gaur, Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari
All
Hari
Bol.
Hari
praise to Sri
Bol.
Guru and Gaurange Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.